Tonight really needed to happen. It was the event that was calling out to be run, and I'm just pleased that so many people have come on board and captured the imagination, and the result is a great turnout. And there's a lot of very notable people here that have all made a huge contribution to the internet in Australia. I'm privileged to know many of them as my friends, and I'm just pleased that so many people have come on board and captured the imagination, and the result is a great turnout and what I hope will be a really fun and happy occasion.
I was at university in Western Australia in 1989 when it was connected. And I guess one of my first memories is when I was so excited I wanted to show my parents the internet. So I sat down online, connected to a MUD in the University of Newcastle in the UK, looked at the Louvre and was accessing some databases in the US and showing them. Anyway, my mother comes back out about an hour later and goes, "Look, your father said you're not allowed to use the internet again until the phone bill comes in."
I think it's just fantastic that people remember the good old days. In the first days, because we didn't really know what we were doing, we sort of all got together and we tried to do things and we tried to keep the government off our backs. It was amazing. You know, no one knew what it was. I went to the National Australia Bank to raise some money for my first internet company, and they told me it was like CB radios. Why would they invest in the internet? You know, it'll all be over by Christmas. You know, this thing would be crazy. Well, 5 months later, we raised $40 million.
Peter Cronis has been there for decades as well. But you know, so many other people here, like from ARNet. I see a couple of tables out there with Aussie Mail. I mean, the Minister now, of course, was around in the 90s as well, then at Optus. So, you know, it's just fascinating to see all those people that are, you know, were there building it when you had to be a true believer to get involved at all. And now to be looking back on it when, you know, internet is as pervasive as electricity now. It's just, it's so much fun to look back at the beginnings.
The first experience for me was actually being able to have a look at policies on the internet of what was going on around the world and see what was going on in the United States right here every day in Australia.
One of my most special moments is when I moved to Adelaide, and I told my mum before I left that, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, I don't do letters and so on, so we'll talk on the phone, but that's it. And then a couple of weeks later, I got an email from Mum at iiNet, and she had got online and taught herself to send and receive emails. So, and that was back in the Unix days, so it was a big deal.